Now everybody knows who Sophie Cunningham is. Everybody wants a piece of Sophie Cunningham. Her jersey is the #1 selling jersey in the WNBA. Sold out.
$500. That's what the WNBA thought it would cost to silence Sophie Cunningham. Instead, they accidentally funded the biggest marketing revolution in women's sports history. One TikTok, one t-shirt, $800,000 in sales in a single day. The league tried to bury her, but Sophie turned their punishment into a masterclass in going viral. What started as a frustrated player calling out blind refs turned into a movement that has the entire WNBA scrambling to survive. And now, with million-dollar deals on the table and wrestling contracts being offered, Sophie Cunningham isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's playing chess while the league is still figuring out checkers. The whole mess began during what should have been just another game against the Connecticut Sun. Sophie took a hit to the head. No whistle. Then came the neck grab. Again, nothing. Fans watched in disbelief as referee after referee ignored obvious fouls. But the real insult came after the game when Sophie and Caitlin Clark rushed the refs, desperate for answers, only to be completely ignored. Picture this. Two of the league's biggest stars, literally tapping the referee on his arm, and he won't even make eye contact. He keeps turning away, walking off like they don't exist. Fans who've watched decades of professional basketball said they'd never seen anything so disrespectful. The officials treated these women like they were invisible, despite being the faces bringing millions to the league. Sophie was done playing nice. That night, alone in her hotel room, she grabbed her phone and did what millions of frustrated fans wanted to do. She posted a TikTok that would change everything. Using Sabrina Carpenter's hit song Man-Child, Sophie lip-synced directly to the camera with the lyrics, "Stupid or is it slow?" The target was crystal clear, the refs who had embarrassed the league that very evening. The video exploded. 1.3 million views in hours. Comments flooded in from fans saying what players had never dared to say publicly. Finally, someone with a platform was speaking truth to power. The WNBA's response, predictably tone-deaf. Instead of addressing the officiating crisis, they slapped Sophie with a $500 fine for criticizing league officials. But here's where Sophie's genius truly showed. Most players would apologize, delete the post, and move on. Sophie! She laughed. Literally laughed at the fine. Her response on social media became legendary. "I don't know why this is funny to me. Like, okay, you got it, bud. 'Cause there's not more important things to be worried about with our league right now." That sarcasm hit different. Sophie wasn't just mocking the fine, she was exposing the league's backwards priorities. While players were getting hurt due to poor officiating, the WNBA was busy policing TikToks. Then came the move that turned Sophie from frustrated player into marketing mastermind. Game night arrived, and Sophie walked into the arena wearing the now legendary Hot Girls Eat Arby's t-shirt. The internet lost its collective mind. This wasn't just trolling, this was strategic warfare disguised as fast food fashion. Arby's official account immediately jumped in, calling Sophie an unapologetic queen. Comments poured in calling it the greatest crossover in sports marketing history. Within hours, the shirt sold out in every single state. By the next morning, 800,000 units had been sold, generating millions in revenue. None of it went to the WNBA. Think about that for a second. The league tried to silence Sophie with a $500 fine, and she responded by generating more buzz and sales than the WNBA had seen all season. Her TikTok following exploded from 300,000 to over 1.7 million followers in a matter of days. Even more shocking, her jersey sales surpassed Caitlin Clark, the most popular player in WNBA history. The ripple effects were immediate and chaotic. Angel Reese reposted the Arby's clip with fire emojis and the caption, "They scared of real ones." Jeannie Buss, owner of the Lakers, offered Sophie a spot in Women of Wrestling, saying the WNBA needed enforcers like her to protect stars like Caitlin Clark. Brands started lining up with endorsement offers. The rumor mill went into overdrive. Word leaked that Arby's wanted Sophie to lead their national campaign with a $2 million deal on the table. Meanwhile, Sophie kept flexing on the league that tried to humble her, posting Instagram stories holding Arby's burgers while wearing a gold chain that read, 5K Fine Club. But the WNBA's panic response revealed how completely they'd lost control. Instead of improving officiating or listening to their stars, league officials started considering banning all branded clothing. Their solution to Sophie's revolution? More rules, more control, more of the same backwards thinking that created this mess. Here's what the WNBA refuses to admit: they created their own monster. For years, they fined players for speaking out while ignoring the real problems. Poor officiating, inconsistent rules, and a disconnect between the league office and its stars. Sophie didn't break the system, she exposed it. Now she's become the face of a rebellion that goes far beyond basketball. Every athlete who's been told to shut up and play is watching. Every fan frustrated with tone-deaf league management is cheering. Sophie proved that authenticity beats corporate control, that speaking truth beats staying silent, and that sometimes a $500 fine is the best investment you never meant to make. The WNBA wanted to make an example out of Sophie Cunningham. Mission accomplished. She's an example of what happens when you try to silence someone who refuses to be silenced. She's an example of how one player with a phone and some attitude can generate more positive attention than an entire league's marketing department. And she's just getting started. While the WNBA scrambles to regain control of a narrative they never really had, Sophie's out here writing her own story in bold red Arby sauce. The question isn't whether Sophie changed the game forever. The question is whether the WNBA can change fast enough to keep up with the revolution they accidentally started. Because at the end of the day, Sophie Cunningham didn't just roast some refs in a TikTok. She served up a wake-up call that the entire sports world is still digesting. And just like those Arby shirts, it's selling out faster than anyone expected.